Hi, my name is Justin Smallwood, and this is my self-assessment for the IO program. Objective 1 touches base on understanding just general psychology and basic behavior and just basic understanding of the social, cultural, and systematic basis of behavior. With this objective, I feel like overall, just throughout the program from start to finish, with the first course being Intro to IO Psych, to all the way up to the last course being the Practicum, I just feel like each course has built upon each other, and I just given myself the building blocks for success and the knowledge needed when it comes to just the basic understanding of IO and psychology in general. Objective number 2: develop knowledge and skills of researchers on methodologies and statistical techniques. This is probably, when it comes to statistics, my weakness. I've never been a fan of statistics. I've always struggled more so than probably others have. I don't like that part of IO. I love the research. I love the consulting, but when it comes to statistical breakdowns and the actual just full-on research breakdown like that using statistics, I'm not a huge fan. But given that the professors were awesome, the course taught me a lot. They were laid out to where I wasn't too lost, and I always was able to find the resources needed for help. So I definitely think if I was put in that situation again, I would be successful, because of the program and because of the courses were set up for me to succeed, even though they weren't my favorites. But so definitely learn the skills that I hadn't known prior, and that will only serve me going forward. The third objective is students will develop knowledge of skills in theory, research, and applications of industrial psych topics as employee selection, development, analysis, appraisal, human resource training, and development. So this was probably one of my favorite areas, especially selection with recruitment and hiring, and getting deeper into that. Just tie that in with my everyday management job, selecting actual individuals for the roles instead of just putting any random person to fill a spot. Um, Making sure that, if you actually have like a position that requires certain KSAs or knowledge and skills, that you're filling that with someone who's capable and not just filling the position to fill it to meet a quota or so, or per se. So that's definitely something that I've really enjoyed. Job analysis was really great. Using ONET during a few of the programs allowed me to see career options that I hadn't thought about before. And then performance appraisal, going back to my everyday job, was great because it not only showed me more options and ways about doing it that I hadn't thought about before or wasn't ever shown, but also showed me the right way to do it and the right way to get better results for my employees. Objective 4: students will develop knowledge and skills of theory, history, research, applications of organizational topics, such as motivation, attitudes, groups and teams, leadership, organizational change, development, and climate and culture. With organizational change, we went through a few courses. Organizational change, I believe, was it, with Dr. Henning, and we went through various case studies about organizations and companies that needed help. They called upon the consultants to come in to review the situations. We did case analysis on these areas, and just being able to, use critical thinking skills and what we've learned up to that point to focus in on what the problems were, what could be done to fix them, recommendations, and then looking at the work teams and groups. That was one of the topics within our practicum, my group's practicum, that our client requested us do research on. So I was able to do the research and lit review on that topic. So I definitely learned a greater understanding of what makes work teams efficient, what makes them successful, what makes them unsuccessful. So definitely getting a deeper knowledge on that topic as well. Objective 5, students will develop skills that are necessary for functioning as professionals. Honestly, throughout the program, just dealing with the awesome staff and peers, you are put in that situation from the start. So by the end of the course, you're just used to being professional in your communication, and any contact that you have with anyone. And definitely with this practicum, dealing with our client and our contact, Mr. or Dr. Miller, just making sure, using professional tone, courtesies, reaching out in professional time, and making sure things are just done like they were an actual paying client and you were their provider, the consultant. So all of it together has just prepared me for a life if I chose that to be in the professional setting of IO. Objective 6, students will develop understanding of ethical, legal, and diversity issues related to the practice of applied psychology. Again, going back to, I believe it was selection, and then I think even our intro class, we learned about ethical and legal issues, from like American Disability Act to other protected groups of individuals, to get into cultural issues, and making sure that you just cover all your bases when dealing with employees, and just knowing that every situation is different and that you can't make assumptions, and just because you can't put your biases in front of something, because say with hiring and development, you just assume, or you hold a grudge, or something, you're holding a personal bias or grudge against someone. You open yourself up for legal and ethical dilemmas. So definitely feel like I've gained knowledge on that I had just a base understanding before. But it's also something I want to continue learning about. We didn't touch on it, the ethical and legal, or we didn't touch on legal issues a ton. So I definitely want to continue learning about that going forward. And then additional objectives that I had for myself was to get a better idea of what I want to do career-wise, like to focus it in. I always kind of had like a broad range of career aspirations, but I think after this course, it's going to be focused on improving workplace diversity and inclusiveness and equality, as well as the field of selection and training and development. The training program that we did, or that I did, was in training and development. Actually got implemented at work at my current job. So that's something that I really enjoy doing, though, was creating the training packet and program. So that's something that I'm very interested in as well. So I think overall, the program definitely helped me focus in on what I want to do long term, and then implement what I've learned in my current job. Going back to the training program that was developed, I use that in my current job. I use the information about selection at my current job, ethics, and legal to some extent. So there's a lot that I took from this job, or from this program, that I used in my job. So overall, I think that I did it's helped me out, and is only going to continue to help me, no matter what path I go down. So I appreciate it, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you.